Imagine a city gripped by something worse than plague, something that forces your body to betray you. No fever, no sores, just an unstoppable urge to dance. Day after day, night after night, until your feet bleed raw, your heart bursts, or exhaustion finally snuffs you out. In the summer of 1518, in the shadowed streets of Strasbourg, that's exactly what happened. Hundreds danced themselves to collapse, and some to death. Welcome to Noctuary Vale. Tonight, we lift the veil on one of history's most bizarre nightmares, the dancing plague. Stay if you dare. It started small. July 14th, 1518. A woman named Frau Traffier stepped from her half-timbered home onto a narrow, cobbled street. No music, no festival. She simply began to dance, fervently, uncontrollably. Her arms flailed, legs kicked high, body twisting in frantic rhythm. Her husband begged her to stop. She couldn't. She danced through the day until she collapsed from sheer exhaustion. Then, after a brief rest, she rose and started again. By the next day, her feet were swollen, skin splitting, blood seeping into her shoes. Yet she kept going. And she wasn't alone for long. Within days, dozens joined her. By the week's end, over 30 people were seized by the same compulsion. No singing, no laughter, just grim, mechanical dancing sways. Faces blank, bodies drenched in sweat. The madness spread like smoke. By August, chronicles claim up to 400 victims, men, women, even children dancing in the streets, alleys, and public squares, day and night. No rest, no food, no water. Their movements were spasmodic, arms thrashing violently, legs stomping in endless circles, bodies convulsed. Some screamed for help between gasps, feet blistered, then bled. Some dropped dead mid-step from heart attacks, strokes, or sheer organ failure from the relentless strain. At its peak, reports say 15 people died each day, bodies piled in the heat. The city reeked of sweat, blood, and fear. The authorities were terrified. Physicians blamed hot blood rising from overheated humors. The cure, more dancing. Declared guild halls and hired professional musicians, pipes, drums, fiddles, to play stop. They even paid strong men to dance alongside the afflicted, hoping to tire them out. It backfired spectacularly. The music fed the frenzy. More people caught the compulsion. The streets became open-air asylums of twitching, bleeding bodies. When that failed, they turned to religion. The dancers were carted to the shrine of Saint Veit, a saint of dancers and epileptics, sighed the city. There they were given red shoes, symbolic of the curse, small crosses, and prayed over. Some were supposedly cured, others weren't. Why here? Why then? Strasbourg in 1518 was a pressure cooker of despair. Years of brutal weather, floods ruining crops, then scorching heat baking the land. Famine gripped the poor as grain prices skyrocketed. Starvation killed thousands. Then came disease, smallpox, syphilis, the new great pox, and echoes of the Black Death. Superstition ran deep. People believed failing to honor St. Vitus could curse you with endless dancing. in this atmosphere of apocalyptic fear. With omens in the sky and peasant revolts brewing, the mind cracked. One woman's twitch became a signal. Belief turned suggestion into contagion. Historians still argue one old theory: ergot poisoning, a fungus on damp rye causing convulsions and hallucinations. But ergot victims suffer burning pain and gangrene, not coordinated dancing for days. It doesn't fit. Another demonic possession or divine punishment. The era's go-to explanation. The strongest case, from historian John Waller, is mass psychogenic illness, stress-induced mass hysteria. Extreme trauma primed the population. Local folklore about St. Vitus's curse provided the script. One person succumbed. Others, suggestible and terrified, mirrored it. Psychic contagion swept through like wildfire. People danced because they believed they had no choice. Fear made it real. Exhaustion and death followed. By early September, it faded. The last dancers were taken to St. Vitus's shrine. The streets fell silent again. The exact number of deaths is unknown. Chronicles vary, but dozens, perhaps more, perished. The dancing plague became legend, one of Europe's last great courtiers. It reminds us, the mind is fragile. Under enough pressure, belief can hijack the body. History's shadows still whisper. What if it happened again, in a different form? Thanks for joining me behind the veil. If the night calls you back, subscribe. Like if this chilled you, and comment your darkest theory below. Until next time, sleep lightly. The dance might still be waiting.